Will Anderson Jr. is the single best player in this class regardless of position, and it just so happens to be that he's playing one of the most important ones. Despite being overshadowed by interior defensive lineman Jalen Carter, who is a phenomenal prospect in his own right, in my opinion, Will Anderson is more deserving of being the number 1 overall pick than Carter is, or at least the first non-quarterback off the board. If you make it to the end of this video, you'll learn the strengths and the weaknesses of Will Anderson Jr. and why he's poised to become the next Micah Parsons. So we're going to start off with some of the strengths Will Anderson displayed when I was watching his film. First and undoubtedly foremost is his quick twitch athleticism and speed. He's been clocked running a 4.56, which is very fast for an edge rusher, but I have an inkling he's going to come in even faster at the combine. This speed is evident on pursuit angles, and quarterbacks have a hard time rolling out of the pocket when he's involved in the play. More importantly for his position, and much more evident in the case of Will Anderson, is his burst. Anderson is remarkably quick off the ball, which is one of the most important athletic tools a pass rusher can have, especially when slightly undersized in weight like himself. So in my opinion, most exemplary of Will Anderson's burst is on this play right here against Utah. He's on the bottom of your screen, and as you can see, about a second after the ball is snapped, he is significantly further than any of his other teammates are up the field, about 2 yards further. And these are all collegiate level athletes playing for Alabama. These are good athletes, and that burst allows him to quickly beat the tackle and affect the throw, causing an incompletion. This ability does remind me of Micah Parsons and even Baron Browning, 2 electric edge rushers of similar size and stature to Anderson. This burst shows up in pass rush, but it stuck out to me in particular in run defense. Anderson is often half a step quicker to gaps than any O-lineman, allowing him to compensate for his smaller stature and out-leverage these linemen. And that brings me to what I find to be Anderson's biggest strengths on film, which was his elite run defense as a whole. Despite weighing only 243 pounds at 6'4", it's clear that his play strength is equal to players 10 or 20 pounds heavier. He beats ball carriers to their spots routinely and does not allow them to fall forward. His elite short area quickness allowing for a forceful pop when making tackles in the hole. Another thing that has made him such an elite run defender at the collegiate level is his IQ. Anderson is disciplined in run defense and a very heady player, one that I would bet on to learn and develop with NFL coaching. Now, these strengths do not come without certain weaknesses. The biggest weakness I found with Anderson was at the top of his rush. Anderson was able to rely on his athleticism throughout his collegiate career, and as a result is not extremely technically refined as a pass rusher. Though employing spin moves and cross chops effectively, he has some learning to do before he will be able to consistently beat NFL tackles. When the tackle gets enough depth and Anderson's athleticism is shut down, he can struggle to improvise and make it to the quarterback through contact. And so we're going to look at a play against LSU here. Anderson is at the top of your screen, and as you can see, when the tackle is able to get adequate depth and deal with his athleticism, Anderson does not necessarily have a plan to beat that, especially against a stronger tackle like he will be seeing in the NFL. Although he does get credited with half a sack here, and it's a great hustle play. It's clear that his first initial pass rush did not win. It's just that the Alabama defensive line was able to allow him to get back into the play with their good pressure. This is an area where his size is slightly concerning, but it's likely that this is more of a technique issue, which again can probably be coached out of him. Ultimately, though, Anderson is a very complete prospect with only minor flaws in his game. Will Anderson as a prospect eerily reminds me of a slightly weaker Micah Parsons. When Micah was coming out, he was well known to be a freakish athlete with an unreal combination of strength, burst, and speed. However, playing a hybrid role in college, he was labeled by many as a tweener who wouldn't be exceptional at either off-ball linebacker or edge rusher. I would argue that Anderson would have faced the same criticism if he played with the same positional versatility that Micah did at Penn State, and that he is more than capable of doing so. He has already displayed a remarkable ability to turn and run in coverage for an untested edge rusher, utilizing his speed and mobility to run with tight ends and running backs. But Micah always had the capabilities to be the dominant edge threat that he is, and Anderson is the example of a similar player being allowed to thrive in this role. Their smaller yet powerful frames allow the two of them to not only possess similar positional versatility, but also gives them the elite burst that the two of them possess. This is what ultimately has been Micah's greatest strength in the league, and what I believe will be Anderson's. Furthermore, coming out of college, Micah was known to be an elite run defender from the edge, which is another thing Will Anderson Jr. is so great at. having accrued 58.5 tackles for loss in his 3 years at Alabama. But just to reiterate, the largest similarity that the two possess is their absolute dynamism, burst, closing speed, and general speed. With that being said, guys, that's all I got for today. If you like the content, make sure you go down and subscribe. That means a lot to me. You can check out this video, maybe that video. I got 2 videos that I'm really proud of that I think you guys would like. I got a bunch of other videos too. If this is your thing, the short form draft scouting reports, I'm going to have those coming soon. This is my first one, but I plan to get into that with the off season underway, figure out my favorite prospects. I think my next one is probably going to be on Zay Flowers. But without further ado, thanks guys. I appreciate you making it here this far in the video, and take care.